time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 184. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, patch 5.1 is here, and we'll talk all about it. And that's it. We're not gonna do anything else. We're just talking 5.1, and then whatever else pops in our heads. But first, let's shoot the shit. Hey, Ruby, what's been going on?
What's up, Yelta? 5.1 is here.
Yay!
It's a good time. It's been good. Had some fun. You and I have played. We did some cool stuff yesterday on patch day. And I won't talk a whole lot in this segment about it because we're going to go through the patch notes and we'll share our experiences there. But I had a blast. I'm kind of glad I took a short break because it re-energized me and it was good to see everybody. And we ran a really nice 24-man raid with everybody included. And it felt good to do the Alliance thing through the party finder. It's just a lot of fun. It's a blast being back, and I'm itching to talk more about it. So, yes, I'm just going to throw it to you. What's up?
I did all the patch things.
I know you did.
I did all the patch things. I stayed up way too late, though, the night before the patch. I'm like, I'll play a little, like, farm together, and then I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you took the day off. So did I.
Yeah.
So you were there like right when it kicked off. Like you were playing right at the beginning, right?
Well, yes. Okay, so I had downloaded a patch and gone eventually to take a nap, and then came back before the servers were up, and I had to spend another 20 minutes patching because apparently that wasn't the whole patch. Not that the new launcher, and we'll go over that in a minute, was super helpful for that. So, But listeners, you can ignore this message and not come to our website, and don't you dare tell us what you've been up to. We'll try some reverse psychology, right?
Yeah, if it works, it works.
All right. So then let's just move right into it. First round is news, and the news is the patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I took the day off. You had the day off?
I did. I took the day off. Now I didn't stay up and start playing as soon as the patch was alive. I did. I guess I'm not sure. I will talk about this. I guess with the launcher I wasn't sure if I had updated or downloaded the patch. I just loaded the launcher and I was like, okay, hate the look of this thing. And then went to bed and then got up at like 7 a.m. and then decided to get at it then.
So not the butt crack of dawn, but...
Not the butt crack, no.
But speaking of the launcher, I took a picture of it and tweeted gross. And people were saying that they like it. It's not the layout that bothers me at all, really. It's that it's blinding. The first thing I do when I download or surf to or whatever, get a new app, the first thing I do is find night mode because it's just too bright for me. So that, and it is a little glitchy. There was a bug. I did switch back to the other launcher and initially download the patch, and then I did switch back to the new launcher, but it still kind of looks kind of funny, right? So a lot of the stuff, there's a lot of... I like the tabs across the top. I'm
looking at it now.
Okay.
It's a little too big, I think. I feel like there's a lot of empty space on the left side. It could be smaller. I like the size of the previous launcher. I kind of dig the stuff at the top, but does it really scream like click me to learn more?
They need to look like tabs, kind of. Because they're just lines, but they don't look like they're... I didn't notice them at first, honestly.
Yeah, they just don't look like there's something that you would highlight or click.
Did you notice the scroll bar on the side that just scrolls it a tiny bit, but there's no way to like resize the window anyway?
Right now, it says a connection error has occurred, and I cannot see anything on the screen other than the Warrior of Darkness on the right side.
That's why it had to be so big. They had to get that art in there.
Oh yeah. Great. I'm just not a big fan of it myself. I think they could do a little better. I hope it's a work in progress and not the complete package. But I don't see them changing this anytime in the very near future.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. guess I don't know. I do know a lot of people like it, so we'll move on.
Well, I want to say one other thing because I had an issue. This is what I was referring to in my opening statement, and let's shoot the shit, is that I wasn't sure if I had downloaded the patch or not. Typically, there's like a bar, and it shows you how much of the download you've done. I had issue finding that. I couldn't even see that I was downloading the patch, and I wasn't the only one. I had heard other people
I had the same problem.
Had an issue.
Yeah, that's why I went searching to set it to the old settings. So I changed it back to the original launcher, and then the bar went across. But then in the morning when it was downloading the second patch, I did get the bar on the launcher, but I don't know if it's an intermittent problem or if they actually fixed it or what.
It was just weird.
Don't know. To see the Reddit where, opening the launcher at 2 a.m. and it's just like this blinding light. So we're not the only ones. All right. So let's see. Obviously, there's the storyline, the main storyline. We're not going to do spoilers, but I don't think there was anything like really big to be like, and spoiler anyway. But I went through it, I don't know, on and off through the day. I thought it was okay.
I did it in one fell swoop. I thought it was pretty good. They throw you into the dungeon fairly early into the story. It didn't seem like it labored on at any piece, but there was almost like two stories. It was kind of an initial part and then a secondary part that focused more on Yulmore. And it was kind of, it's a 0.1. It's like it's setting up for other stuff. It's not really like, oh my God, the suspense. They did have like the ending cutscene. I won't go into it for spoilers, but there's but meanwhile, and then we did get a cool fight. There was a cool NPC fight.
I enjoyed that one quite a bit, actually.
That one was pretty good. I did read the goddamn official forums today.
Oh, I didn't.
And people were bitching. There was somebody bitching about why do they keep shoving us into these NPC fights? They're not any good. They're a waste of time. I don't play this job. And they got immediately shot down. People were like, no, these are fun. I think they're fun. I think it's fun to play as other characters.
Occasionally they go a little long. I will agree with some of the people that some of the fights might go a little long, but also I think if it's going on that long, you're not triggering something. Or I know a lot of times they're very scripted, and if you don't do what it wants you to do, if you don't read, it feels like you're in there forever.
Right. The fan cred of 5.0 fame is usually cited as the hardest or worst one that we've encountered. I'm reading by many that the one we just had in 5.1 is the most fun of them. I enjoyed it, and I don't even play the job that was represented there. I thought it was pretty cool.
I have taken that job all the way to 80.
Yeah. Do you have those abilities?
I cannot do what that character does.
Okay. Well, that character's doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then the limit break is freaking amazing at the end. I did read another official forum post that said they could not beat that fight. Oh. And many were saying, well, you're missing the limit break. You're not seeing it. And it could be a hotbar issue, but I think the person came back and said, no, I'm doing that and I'm still dying. But it's one of those fights, like, you kind of have to kill, like, one ad to get yourself some space on the floor that you're not attacked by the other things, and then you just... I don't know. I thought it was pretty easy, because you keep hitting the button and it heals you.
Yeah.
while you attack.
But I didn't run in. Before I engaged, I hovered over each button and read what it did.
That's a good idea.
Noted, because, I mentally noted which one was an area of effect, which one would heal me, and I saw there was a limit break button. I'm like, okay, gotta remember to watch for the limit break to be ready. Mm-hmm. I didn't find it that hard, but I guess some people just hate any sort of story, or some people don't like playing anything. But then again, I miss the days when you used to have to level cross class abilities and shit.
Yep.
So this game is way more accessible.
Just click that very easy button.
I did enjoy that fight, though. I thought it was fun and interesting. A little disturbing, also, what you fight, in a way.
Yes.
But I thought the story itself was pretty decent. I was a couple times left with more questions and answers towards the end there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't know, there is a quest after you finish all of that. You have to go back to Mordona and find another quest. So that's a bit of a spoiler, but it's also easy to miss. So what else? I don't want to talk too much about the story because the story. I guess the raid probably would be next.
Right.
Yeah, I love those dwarves. The word about Comra, that quest, the quest that was a precursor quest, you have to clear before you can even get, to the raid quest. The dwarves were just cracking me up.
Right.
Just completely cracking me up.
Yeah, these two are funny.
And then, of course, you have to run around and do some stuff, and then suddenly there's androids.
Yeah, it quickly escalated. But, not going into spoiler land, but it just suddenly was like, oh, androids, and machine life forms, and the like.
I know a lot of people thought that the raid was going to be somewhere else. It's all actually seems to be on the first.
Right.
Right. We didn't go through any gates we're not on another planet. It's a factory. And you've played Nier, right? You recognize that place.
Yeah, I'm going to say, this is, on more than one level, this was Nier-like, and I am no Nier expert. I only played this game about a month ago, right? So, but the seamlessness of the transition from, hey, we're fucking around outside of this thing, and then, going through it, because once you do it, I don't know, I don't want to get too much into spoiler land, but they kind of make you walk through it again.
You're allowed to visit the entire raid zone.
It's wild. Yeah. It's like one scene, but it feels like Nier because it's like you're just walking from zone to zone. No, really no zone lines. And then it just felt like Nier anyway because it's in the factory. It feels like that first part of the copied factory, and then when you're running around the cylinders, the staircases, and I even saw that first starting area looked like a position where it's midway through the factory. I just played this game, right? Yeah, so it's midway through the factory where there's a chip or something at the top, and I'm trying to jump up there, and I can't figure out the way. It looks like you're on the ledge of the platform you're trying to get to, and that I really think they paid attention to detail.
Yeah. The invisible walls kind of took me out of 14 because I'm like, and Nier I could have jumped there.
Yeah.
I didn't think though. I didn't find it jarring though, which was my biggest fear. I remember when the first slide came up, and I'm like, that doesn't seem very. That doesn't seem like it's going to fit very good in Final Fantasy 14. But I didn't find it too jarring.
I didn't find it jarring at all. It didn't seem like they were way out of the 14 universe for some reason. Maybe because the first is so alien anyway. It didn't seem weird, or maybe just because I played this game recently and these characters look familiar to me. But they didn't seem like they were just out of left field, designed by a completely different individual, even though they were. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it fit pretty darn good. And the music, of course, was amazing.
Oh,
I liked the Nier music, and I enjoyed hearing what I heard in the raid when I wasn't busy dying.
Yeah. Hey, I was happy. I had not run it prior to. We ran it as a group last night, a big group, and I had not run it before that, and I was pretty pleased. I think I may have died only at least once per fight, but some no more than once, and I was happy. I was happy with that. That was okay.
Well, when we ran together, that was the second time I had done it. The first time I did it, I died so much on the first boss, it was just insane. I did finally turn my graphics down because there's so much animations and stuff. I couldn't tell I couldn't even tell. Because he does a thing where he blasts something out of the like a laser cannon or something. with all the people and the spell effects and everything, my eyes could not see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been playing more and more with the spell effects down. I don't know if it's just because I have sensitive eyes or I get just sensory overload or what, but I am so glad you can turn down those effects.
Yeah.
But I did much better when we ran together. I mean, it probably helps that I, had seen it. But then one of the other fights where I think I did better the first time I ran it than last night. It was just like, I kept dying. And what's our red mage's name? What's his name? He kept yelling. Kaidri. He's like, I got you, Yelta. I got you, Yelta. And I'm like, oh my God. Her voice check. Got you, Yelta. But everybody, it didn't hurt probably that we went in as 24 men. We did, filled mostly with, friends and family of the bosom.
Right.
But we did get a few from Party Finder, and
they were so happy.
They were all happy. Yeah. There wasn't like trolling or crying, nothing bizarre. Everybody seemed positive even when it was going south. Early days, though. The first few times you run something, it's not like, Jesus Christ, how do you die to that? Everybody knows how that works. We're not quite there yet. But some groups probably already are because, I don't know. But it's a 24-man. I think they want you to die a bunch. So what else? I thought the fights were interesting and varied. And they felt and at the same time didn't break Final Fantasy XIV, I guess, it didn't break my immersion, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought it looked and felt pretty good. I was kind of willing to almost hate this one, even though I really liked Nier. But part of me is like, how are they going to make that look good in 14 and that they win? Oh, and looking good, some of that gear is gorgeous, and it's all dyeable.
Yeah, that's
wow, right?
They really put out all the stops for the gear in this one. I guess we'll talk about the big elephant in the room. The main outfit is it? What is it? 2B? Is that who we're
in this game? They call her 2P, isn't it?
Right, but the outfit that you get at the end, is it
2Bs?
Yeah. So you get 3 coffers drop, and then the whole 24-man raid gets to.
They're crying about that on the forums, by the way.
I read that
you're rolling
thread
against
too.
Thousands of people, and everybody wants
it. And my rolls suck. Great. Well, get better rolls. I don't get good rolls. I don't know what to say. How can you get more fair than random? It's just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. It looks great on men. From what I understand, I haven't won it yet, but looking good on the men as well as the ladies. I've seen the bitching about that as well, but you know what? I think all's fair in love and war. If the ladies can wear some guys' outfits, let the guys wear some ladies' outfits. It's all fair. Who cares?
Did you see what I saw? There's apparently in the files, not that I would look at what's in the files, but apparently there is now they patched in the alternate sex wearability of the wedding outfits.
Ooh,
it's not in yet, but apparently the files are in there now.
Ooh,
and I saw the 3D models of them and everything.
Well, all right,
yeah,
very good. Thanks, Yoshida. So the gear stuff is amazing. Dyeable out the gate. What? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They gave us what we wanted. That's what people cared about was the gear. They really wanted the glamour out of this. And there were those who are eating their words right now who said, no, they're going to hold out until the 3rd tier to make you wait for the gear. No. They gave it to us now so we could enjoy it throughout 5.0.
I'm glad for it. I don't mind them coming up with later you can have the craftable dyeable versions or whatever. Hopefully them doing it now just means they can make us a whole new cool set later too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of recycling and now you have a dyeable one. I'm okay with that. I don't know. And the story wasn't, it was kind of the intro story, right? So
yeah, I'll tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't fetching bottles of wine underneath shacks out in western Lenosia and shit like that. I am so thankful that they just thrust you into it. It felt like hop, skip, jump, and here I go.
There was enough of a quest to kind of, you weren't just suddenly there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't make sandwiches and find some wine.
Right. I appreciated the brevity. And I wasn't clicking through. I thought it was pretty quick, but it did make sense, and it was. I thought it was a good setup, but that's really what it is. Setup. It leaves you kind of scratching your head at the end, especially with who the last boss is, and how that's going to tie in. You're going, I wonder, and we wait for 5.3.
I just hope they do that thing where all the little robots go together and make a big robot.
Oh yeah,
I want them to do that because for some reason
Robo orgy.
Well, that it's like in Nier, it's like awesome and terrifying kind of at the same time, and I think that would be kind of neat to see.
And they made a baby
cutscene. They made a baby. Oh my god! Yes, the robots fucking was pretty funny in Nier. Oh my god. Okay. According to the patch notes, the next stuff was a new side story quest, which is question marky, but I think that's the one in Mordona is the one they're talking about.
That's the secret quest.
That's the secret quest.
Right.
Custom deliveries, you do have to go through the storyline, but I think you always have had to. You have to go through the storyline, and at some point you talk to the NPC that has the custom deliveries. I did the custom deliveries. I turned in this week's. It's I like it. I
Cool.
did. We'll talk about the crafting changes later, but I was able to figure out how to push buttons in an order that let me create high quality stuff and turn in for my custom deliveries. So if I can figure it out, most people should be able to, because I'm bad at crafting.
All right.
So yeah, and it's probably not a spoiler. It has to do with the beehive, because that's the quest name. Pixie Beast Tribe quests have been added. I did those twice yesterday and once today.
Are they good? I haven't unlocked them yet.
They're a little bizarre, but I'm enjoying it. Pixies are so weird to begin with, right? Right. This one has to do with like nightmares, and it's cool. I have now been to the cool Pixie playground that they showed us in the live letter, I think.
Yes.
It is adorable.
Wow. Did you swing on the big swing?
I sat on this. It doesn't actually swing, but I did go sit on the swing. So I slid down a slide. It's cute, man. It's a dream, so it can be whatever. So I thought that was kind of cute. So, yep, there's a story, and you get to know more about the world and more about the pixies. So I enjoyed it. And you get quite a bit of XP from it, I think. Been doing them on my bard, trying to bard up. I don't know if I can get anything cool with my Fey Fancies yet. I'll have to go look at the NPC, and that's the currency.
Fey Fancies.
Fey Fancies. Oh, and this time they pretty much they've done a lot of a lot of the stuff you need to get to regularly they did this in 4.0. A lot of it's like right next to the teleport. So the quests themselves were really fast and easy though. It was like fly somewhere, kill one thing, fly back, you're done. So I guess they don't have to be grueling, but there was almost nothing to them. All right, I did not do this next one. I think when we're done recording, I'll probably go check this out. I have not done the New Game Plus.
Nor have I.
Yeah, you have to go to Western Thanlang and talk to an old dude, and no, you don't get XP, and this is not a way to level up alt.
What?
Why do you keep thinking that?
What? Cancel my subscription.
I don't know. In fact, part of me doesn't even really know why they added this, but enough people wanted to go back. Well, it's...
You got XP the first time.
Got XP... Well, no, and not because of the XP, but why you'd want to do this at all. But then I'm like, man, I could see wanting to go back and, like, revisit these storylines without having to roll a new character. Right?
Yeah.
So I can kind of see... So, Heaven's Ward Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Stormblood, Shadowbringers Part 1 and 2. So, oh man, that means that I can go back and do There was one of those you play as an NP, or you play in an instance battle fights, I think in Heavensward I really like too. I should go back and... Because I'm assuming this is like it sets your flag at you're at this point in the quest, so you just get to play through it again. Anyway, not for a Realm Reborn, however.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Class, job, and role quests, Chronicles of a New Era quests, and side story quests. Those are going to be available in the future. All right. This difficulty of certain instance battles in main scenario quests has been reduced. That's in 4 point whatever. I guess they're nerfing that stuff now to help people through. Players can now choose the difficulty of quest instance battles. The option to choose a difficulty will be displayed upon defeat or when replaying. Okay. I was going to say, because I did an instance battle and it didn't tell me this. Mm-hmm. Nothing changes unless you die or want to replay it. Mm-hmm. So,
which is fine.
Ruby, yeah. I kind of wish they would have also given us one that was hard. So, so we could see if we could do it. I mean, that would have been another thing for them to balance, but it's like, whatever they do mathematically to make normal into easy, can you give us, just do that in reverse and give us one that's hard? That would be
But you have to die to get to the hard mode? No, it'd be funny at the beginning if you could get to choose that. Yeah, did you read any of the Enfuego topics? This thing was such a hot button issue in the official forums. People were so angry that this was a thing because it's going to dumb down the populace.
No.
And that it's how does this dumb people down? This is what a stupid argument to make, that somebody who dies on a quest mission and then decides to choose very easy so they can see the story because they don't really want to do like some really heavy, play. They just want to see the story. Is somehow affecting your experience as a gamer.
Whether or not they died and hit very easy or died a few times and got the echo buff really is going to help you. I think that other things need to happen before people can get into extreme and savage stuff. I really wish you had to kill the striking dummy first or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Getting through instance battles was never the gatekeeper for people you're going to, end up with in
exactly.
Party fighter.
This was never a test of skill to be able to do a story battle.
Honestly, when I was playing Nier, I put that shit on an easier mode because I wasn't playing it for the challenge. Now, don't get me wrong. I like being challenged. So, I'm never going to waltz in and do very easy on purpose. But for those people who, aren't either are unable to or have no desire to challenge themselves, fine. Let them.
It was just a dumb argument to make so that a few people could shit on others by talking about how, great they are, that they don't have to say they have to do content easier than the, prescribed content as is.
Well, and it's solo content anyway. It's not like we're doing it together and you're like, I want to do it very easy. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do it
What's
normal.
the other dick you're measuring yours against? It's solo content. Who cares? Anyway.
I do think the game could use a gatekeeper, though. I just don't know where they would put that.
Well, I'm glad they're putting some. They put those eye levels back into the...
Oh, my God. Yes, we'll have to talk about that, too. Uh-huh. All right. Let's see. 4.0, the Yakuza combo action has now been added to actions available, when you're playing Heian, in instance battles of the main scenario quest, A Requiem for Heroes. I don't know what that means. It's some samurai thing, I assume. Mm-hmm. The parameters of enemies that appear in Arcanist and Summoner quests have been adjusted.
I think that's because the Eggies have changed.
Rebalancing.
So, like, if you don't have a Titan Eggie that can actually tank, how can you tank the enemies that are in those old quests? Many Arcanists were having issues.
Well, and there was a problem, I think, with Holmgang in some quests, too, where since they changed Holmgang, it now breaks the quest or something. So that was in a patch. Known issues or something. All right, Guild leaves. They've nerfed the Crafter and Fisher ones, I think. Less items are required. Is what I thought I read. Oh, I'm so happy for this one. When I get on the Fate train again, the maximum store of bicolor gemstones is 1,000 now instead of 500.
Nice.
And they've adjusted the gemstone traders with new items that are available, and the shared fate rank required for certain items has been reduced. Treasure hunt, they've adjusted and added. Adjustments and additions have been made to the rewards from Zoner Skin map treasure maps. Yay! I do love a good map party. In fact, I think I've got one on the calendar for Friday.
Cool.
So I'll report back next week. The rewards of the Dungeons of Laggy, however you say that, have been adjusted. Which one was that again?
That's the newest one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's the instance itself.
Yeah, that's the fairy-themed maps.
Just did it on, like, Saturday. I don't know, just the other night we did a map party.
Yeah, you guys had some success, right?
We did not get all the way to the bottom floor, but it was really fun because the people in voice chat, many of them had not done maps ever before.
Oh, wow.
Right? So they were getting lots. They're like, they didn't know how it worked. A lot of them didn't have any gatherers leveled up. So they're like, I want to come, but I don't have a map. Should I buy them off the market boards? And I'm like, no. I have a character I mail them back and forth to. I've got a map on every retainer. I have a map in my bag, a map in my chocobo saddle, and I've got a Mog mailbox full of maps because I can get one every day, but I don't go do treasure maps enough. So
right.
I basically, my beginning of my map parties is always, if you need a map, trade me, and I stand by the Free Company House's mailbox. But please burn my maps. I know I could sell them, but I'd rather have them to hand out. I don't need the gil anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we had fun. All right. Grand and Free Companies. There's new stuff in the company workshop. There's a picture here of a housing item, so I'm assuming that's what this is. Let's see. They've added new stuff to subaquatic voyages, new areas, new items, and maximum submersible rank has been increased from 60 to 65.
We've had some success with ours recently. So after some upgrades, we've unlocked some new areas. So it's good to see that they're expanding this content. I hate to see something die that they added to the game. And I thought airships could have had so much more, but it was anchored to Diadem, and there were issues. So maybe we'll see a resurgence with that once the Diadem comes back. But I'm glad to see that they're continuing the submersible content.
I thought about because they told us the Diadem was going away now, not long before they took it away. So I thought about, because I always figured it always be there, and eventually we'd get around to going and getting achievements and stuff. I still don't know if I have all the achievements, so I may have missed out on some of those. But I do hope, I know they're reintroducing the Diadem, for gathering in conjunction with Ishgard Restoration. I have no idea if they intend to, because there were rewards you could only get in there for the most part. I have no idea.
Add them back in.
I'm assuming they'll add them back in. Anything that's a mount or a minion or anything like that, they could put somewhere else. Either like one of the Moogle tombstone items. I'd prefer they be in either retainer adventures or deep dungeon or treasure maps or something. But I was worried about achievements. Now, not that I'm a slave to achievements. I didn't even get all my Garo achievements. I only got one horse. But I don't PvP that much, so I'm trying not to worry about it. But it's gone now, so that ship has sailed. But I'm hoping that they, rework something to the point where, maybe make those available again. Because it kind of feels like, oh, I never got around to it, and now I'm screwed. And it wasn't ever advertised as a limited time content.
Right. I think they have to. If they didn't advertise it as something limited, I think they have to head those back in a different way. And I think we'll get a lot of use out of the new Diadem. I see it as a place to mine and fish and harvest certain items that are specific to Ishgardian housing restoration or Ishgardian restoration. So I think it'll be pivotal. You'll be in the Diadem a lot, back and forth. So I think there's plenty of opportunity to get those achievements back.
Well, and there's no reason, even though if they were like, there's no reason they couldn't put fates different places and associate. Sure. When you're in the Diadem gathering, I mean, if they wanted to, they could say, oh, this NM is up here so everybody could change their battle classes and go kill it or something. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. All right, the number of items required for level 79 to 80 alchemist supply missions has been increased. I don't know what that is. The number of items required for certain fisher supply missions has been reduced. Apparently people don't like fishing. I don't know. We had a house battle again. Apparently the new housing wards went up. I saw a lot of people talking, I got a house, I didn't get a house. I think I saw way more, I didn't expect to get a house and I did, than I saw crying that people didn't get a house. They may not have gotten the house they wanted, good. But I saw some first-time buyers getting ones that were, available after other people had moved or something. We didn't move. We talked about it briefly. I remember I responded, I'm open to the idea, but does anybody really want to move? But
we're still in the middle of a housing remodel, right? Are we still doing that? I think we're in a
stalled housing remodel, but I haven't looked lately. In fact, I almost suggested last week, well, we're kind of in the middle of a housing remodel anyway. Why don't we pick everything up, put it in retainers, and try to move? But then I'm like, I don't care. But I literally don't care. If somebody in the free company wanted enough, no, I really think I'd really like to get it, try to get a mansion somewhere else. I'd be okay with it, but all right. Spriggan and Twintania, you can now get private estates, not just free company ones, in wards 1 through 18. Still can't get them from 19 through 21. They'd added some new furnishings. I haven't seen any of these in-game yet. That little Zen garden is adorable, though. Mm-hmm. Just adorable. Some outdoor stalls. That's cute, especially if you had a retainer that was wanting to sell something. They really now I don't know anyone that I've talked to who have been like, I want to make my free company house my house into a shop. But apparently they've done a lot of stuff that's like let your retainer sell items and now these stalls, and it's like apparently people want their houses to be a shop.
Apparently so. I may want to retheme my personal house. I don't know.
It's an idea. Cute look. I've run into this next one when sitting on bar stools. Apparently now you can remain seated when interacting with furnishings. So, yay. You can sit in your bar and eat some food.
My immersion.
A change does not apply to outdoor furnishings, wheel stands, flower pots, gold saucer minigames, vendor NPCs, and mannequins. Well, why would it? I mean...
Okay.
They added here and Ellison mannequins.
I'm
surprised they're like slow. I keep forgetting that they didn't roll them all out, right? But the here and Ellison mannequins are available, and they're looking snazzy. They've added new orchestrion rolls. They added new aquarium fishes. That's a big ass gold rainbowy fish.
Yes, it is.
Wow. They've added new paintings. They've added a new seed for flower pots. I wonder if Cohetti's growing any of these. Generally, she likes to grow them, and then sometimes I get lucky and she gives me whatever they make. I appreciate it. Yeah, these are cute little flowers. Campal, I don't know how you say that. Campanula seeds, whatever.
Campanula? I don't know.
Campanula. My mom would know how to say it. She knows flowers. All right. New estate tags have been added. Visitors welcome and bakery. Is there one that's like, go the fuck away? Is there like a go the fuck away icon without actually closing your house?
Get off my lawn.
Get off. We need to get off my lawn.
See, when I saw this section, I was like, all right, where's the new mentor icon? Surely it's in here. No.
Oh, did you re-up your mentorship?
I still get that warning, but I'm 4 commendations shy of 1,500.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I re-upped mine, and I am a mentor again, or still, or whatever.
But I don't have all 3 different jobs to 80 either.
Oh.
I still need to bring a tank to 80.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, then you can do that roll quest, so you can see the tank roll quest.
Sure.
Then. All right, they adjusted the garden, aquarium, and venue icons for the estate tags. The garden one, instead of being a sprout, now it's a tree. Wouldn't want to use that sprout. Because a sprout, to me, now in this game is like new player, right? I'm not surprised that they did that. All right, I haven't done this one yet. So I said, I was telling Ruby before we started recording, I did the whole patch, and now I'm thinking of all the stuff I didn't actually do. Right. I did not do the Slice is Right in the Manderville Gold Saucer. That's Yojimbo's attack one, if you avoid his attack. I'm assuming it's a lot like Any Way the Wind Blows. Mm-hmm.
But I think you had some movement in this.
Can you run around on this one?
I think you get some movement.
I went... Because they got, I'm going to scroll down. The schedule of the gates has been adjusted. So every hour on the hour it's going to be either Cliffhanger, Air Force One, or Leap of Faith. And then 20 after the hour, it's going to be Any Way the Wind Blows, The Slice is Right, or Leap of Faith. And then 40 minutes past the hour, Any Way the Wind Blows, The Slice is Right, or Air Force One. Every time I've gone there, it's been like Air Force One or Leap of Faith. I don't like Leap of Faith because I don't like jump puzzles. Mm-hmm. I do it sometimes, but Air Force One is cute and fun, but I don't really need to do it every week. It has not been The Slice is Right whenever I've been at the Gold Saucer yet. Well, all of the last 24 hours, right? Because it just came out. They took away Skin Change We Can Believe In, which makes me sad because I actually liked that one.
Really?
Yeah, I liked finding what's, those pictures in like kids magazines, find what's different in these two pictures. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Apparently we can't have
them all.
That many gates. Maybe no one was doing it. I don't know. I haven't also gone to the Mahjong tables and switched to high resolution layout. I should do that. I haven't played Mahjong pretty much since it came out. Mostly because I am confused by it.
I don't understand it at all.
Do you not get it at all?
I played one game and I'm not willing to learn. There may be a day, but it's not today. And probably not tomorrow. But I'm glad that people are getting some enjoyment. It must get enough enjoyment that they felt the need to put it in high quality, high density.
And I know I'm a godless heathen to people, or some sort of Philistine, when I'm like, I wish there was like a short game. And they're like, this is the short game of Mahjong. And I'm like, no, I want something that's like just a couple or just really fast, because I'm not willing to put in the time to do it's long. Mm-hmm. Right? It's long. And I was really confused until I realized you can only score on certain patterns of hands. Once I saw that, like the PDF of that, I'm like, oh, I kind of get a little bit better, but no, it's still too long half the time for me. Especially you're not going to queue up and play Mahjong. And that's, I usually do a lot of Gold Saucer stuff just kind of as I'm queued up. I might as well do whatever. All right. They added Triple Triad cards. They added new NPC opponents for Triple Triad. Do you know what they didn't add, as far as I can tell?
What, new things to the Platinum Packs?
Yes.
Never.
God, Ruby, it's such a simple thing.
So easy.
It's so easy, and on top of being such a simple, easy thing, the rest of the game refreshes its, so much other stuff refreshes its list of prizes.
I saw the umpteenth thread about Eggy Glamours on the official forums. It's like nobody talks about the Platinum Packs for Triple Triad. Nobody ever talks about that. They want to bring up Eggy Glamours. Who the fuck cares? They'll probably get rid of Eggies for all I care. Anyway. Moving on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you did the main scenario.
Yeah.
When you went into the dungeon, did you go with a group or did you take trusts?
I did trust. I started with trust.
I did trust also.
I wanted to see my boy, the Crystal Exarch, again.
That's why I did it, because I'd never been in a dungeon with him before. And did you take the twins?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god, the twins were so good in it. And I think I miss half of what they say, but when I do catch it, it's like, oh my god, that's so good. So anyway, they've added scenario mode. So using scenario mode, you can challenge the new main scenario dungeons with avatar NPCs that appear in the latest main scenario quests. They don't level up though. So if you want to level up your trust, you need to actually take them the old style way. All right, they added and adjusted performance actions. They've added a metronome. They've added some new settings. We've talked about it before, the ensemble ready check function, ensemble mode that like helps you sync up with the other people in your group.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's, toggles between keyboard and gamepad, and you can now practice with the performance assist. I should try that. I think I was excited about that when I saw it on the notes earlier, was performance assist. That might be kind of cool. Again,
I want to see what songs they've got. I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to play what they've got. And certainly their Final Fantasy XIV songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
A World Apart is featured here. So
yeah. Again, though, I'm in this game. Is a lot of things to different people. I don't play 14 though to play music, so
right.
I guess that's just me though.
That's that RP world. Well, there's musicians as well, and there's some people, very talented people who make YouTube videos and things of that nature. Very talented folks. So, but I think a lot of people would use it in an RP environment. This game has a lot to offer now, as far as that kind of sandbox stuff. I mean, remember those early 2.0 days? I remember you and Kariri lamented the lack of sandbox options, but when housing first came out, there really wasn't a lot. I mean, we had fun decorating that little house, but it wasn't super sandboxy.
Yeah, so I don't mind that they're spending time and energy on this, and I do. It is fun when you walk, like you teleport in, and someone's playing, well, probably music they'll get in trouble for from like Legend of Zelda or something. But I do enjoy it being there. It's a way for people to kind of make their own fun. Mm-hmm. They did add some new sounds: trumpet, trombone, tuba, horn, saxophone.
All right.
So that's cool. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Wondrous Tales. Prizes available in exchange for Chloe's gold certificate of commendation. Not that I've ever seen one. Chloe's silver certificate, ditto. And Chloe's bronze certificate, I have two. The rewards have been adjusted for those. I should go see what they are. Eden's Gate has been added to Wondrous Tales.
Okay.
The Garo collab ended. You can't get stuff from it no more. That includes getting items from the disreputable priest and the gold saucer attendant. I was surprised. I was surprised they took the gold saucer one away completely.
Me too.
Yeah.
I just felt like that was the junior version, like this is not the real stuff, but it looks like it, so you can have it. So they would just keep it in perpetuity, but no. That's why I thought, they're really hyping up that you can't get this shield anymore, because certainly they'll have the gold saucer attendant.
Yeah, no. Well, and they've also come out and said they'll consider
create one,
giving us an Emperor's New Shield or whatever. Mm-hmm. However, if you accidentally throw away something you already earned, you can reobtain at the Calamity Salvager, which made me feel really good, because the couple pieces I did get, like the healer headpiece, is this spray of flowers that dyes really beautiful. I use it on all my white mage, almost all my white mage glams. I really love how it looks. And then the bard has a headpiece too, or whatever that set is. It's just this pretty butterfly, kind of like hair clip thing.
Yeah.
And I've been like terrified that if I throw it away, yes, it's in I think I put it in my chest, but a glamour chest. But yeah, you get it from the Calamity Salvager. Oh, you didn't farm up anything with the new Moogle tomestones, did you?
Oh no.
No, didn't buy anything with it. I spent a day doing PvP just a couple days before the patch dropped, just so I could get the unique earring that I will never wear. But I had to have it.
Can you put it in the armoire?
No. No, it does not go in the armoire, which makes me angry. It's sitting in the glamour chest next to the other earring from the last event. Mm-hmm. I'm still baffled by that. Anything I should see if you can rebuy it at the Calamity Salvager. Probably not. It's like a buy-up. I don't know. I have to look.
It's weird. I'm boycotting all those.
Me. Are you?
Yep. I don't like them. No, I think it got better this last one. I was just in my lull. The first one was terrible. This last one, not so bad to farm up the amount of tomes needed.
Oh, just on the basis of it takes so much effort to
Yeah, but that was really for the first one. The second one wasn't that bad,
No, the second one wasn't that bad. I'm still a little cranky, but kind of over it, but I still fundamentally, I'm kind of against, mounts from Beast Tribe stuff. It's like, go earn it, but I guess, I don't know. It bothers me a little bit that rewards unique for doing, the Kobold Beast Tribe things all the way at the end and is just buyable off some, Moogle sitting in town. Mm-hmm. But whatever. I've really kind of, I still tell Kariri some of this stuff and she gets mad and I'm like, this game is what it is, man. And it's not going to change. It's going to continue to be. Everything's handed out. Everything except for a small amount of stuff handed out pretty easily to anyone who cares to do it. So, stuff that I do find gross, I've just kind of learned to live with it. All right, battle system. We're not going to go down all of these guys. There's a lot here. Should we talk about the ones we...
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about the ones we care about. I think one thing about these tanks, briefly, I think across the board they had their ability durations lengthened for their defensive cooldowns. Mm-hmm. So I think all the tanks were happy, my understanding. So
yeah, Holmgang got a buff. I know people called out, especially like Warrior was like the worst one to take to like Titania or something because you had to so tightly. If you were going to take multiple hits of that one thing, that tether, it was hard to Holmgang it. Mm-hmm. So I know ninjas seem happy. Ninjas I talked to.
Oh, Ninja's got a huge rework and lots of potency increases. I haven't gotten any official reports, but I haven't heard any complaints. Official forums notwithstanding, because I went there and I think I saw the header, Ninja sucks now. But it's the official forums. But that's all I know about Ninja. You know any more about Ninja? Because
let us know. I've saw Monk I saw Monk discussion about that one that I can't say that.
Oh, Anataman? Yeah, or Anataman. Yeah, I saw that they're not happy that it's that it got changed. There was the change has made something difficult. I don't know. Tell us, monks.
Yeah, tell us. Well, and then and the Dragoon changes to read the Dragoon changes looks good. I know Dragoons were complaining because Yoshi P said something about us liking the Dragoon changes, and whatever he said in that interview did not translate to these simple potency and recast time. I don't really understand.
I think people were speculating that there were some changes to jump, like maybe some animation lock or some times were reduced or something. But these were just potency changes. A recast change of Blood of the Dragon, but it had dragons scratching their head like, you made us stronger. Why? It didn't make any sense.
Oh, and on Ninja again, there was one interview, I think we're not covering it tonight, but the Yoshi P was talking about the fact that they tested Ninja on Japan internet, which is apparently much better. Mm-hmm. So they had no idea that we're playing and we cannot get these things to happen. We cannot play correctly because our latency is too bad. Mm-hmm. Did you read that one?
I didn't, but I believe it.
Yeah.
I also believe how obtuse they are with things of that nature. Like,
come to my house and on
test
DSL.
Servers, or have certain a testing facility in L.A. Let some people test in.
Well, yeah, they
in
have
L.A.
There.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I know the
Matt
servers are over there now. Yeah, let Matt do it.
Yeah, Matt doesn't have enough to do.
No.
The bard changes, I've heard both. That's cool. We get at least a small additional effect, kind of make it a little bit more supporty. Then they did get a small nerf to something. A few.
And I've heard complaints about it.
I've heard, yeah, but it's like, but I'm playing a bard. I'm still leveling up. I kind of get it. It had to take a personal damage nerf to give everyone crit, to give everyone direct hit rate, to give everyone damage dealt up. I think it thematically makes sense. I don't know if the changes are big enough to make you take or not take a bard, not a bard.
Yeah,
a bard into a raid.
I get it makes sense in the sense like bards should, you're powering other people up. But if you were already the worst range DPS, why also reduce their potency again? Yeah. Like it's insult to injury. It's like, okay, bards, here's what you wanted. And, spit in their face, like, oh, you want your freaking songs back to help people here? But I'm going to take your potency away. It just seems like a slap in the face.
I can get being cranky about it. Now, what I want to know is those tools that won't be named and the website that will not be named that analyzes them. Mm-hmm. Will this... I want to see what the raid DPS numbers... Because that's what you really look for in anything that has support abilities, right? Right? So I'd like to know whether they won or lost on this one. Machinist, I have no idea.
They increase potency. Machinist and Dancer here. If you look at them, they both increase the potency and lowered the potency of bards. Oh, I'm sorry.
I like the triple cast icon for Black Mage because we can't count to 3.
Well,
right? We can't count to 3.
They're busy zipping around the field.
Numbers are hard. Tell me, Ruby. Tell me how Summoner feels now.
Okay, well, they did not fix the clunky feeling to Summoner. Especially that opener now. Wow. If you thought double weave was odd, try no weave, where you're using the eggy assaults and not casting Ruin 3. It's very strange, but in lieu of that, they increase the potency across the board. Summoners are ripping shit apart. I was embarrassed prior to 5.1, really prior to 5.05. I struggled with the E1S dummy for a long time, and I had to be convinced by multiple people that it was overtuned for the job. I could beat it, but not consistently, even though we were beating almost E2S. I still could not beat the E1S dummy. It was very odd. I could absolutely melt the E4S dummy. When 5.1 hit. It's gotten wild. They increased the pets. They increased all the attacks. You can basically stack up as many Rune 4s as you need. There's still issues with the timing of things, and if you go to the forums and you read what many summoners believe is a battle between two visions of what summoners should be, and it's basically Eggy's and the old Arcanist versus what they're doing with these demi summons, the Bahamut and Phoenix. So I would like to see, honestly, Bahamut and Phoenix win out. I would love to just have the 3 big boys and get rid of the Eggies, or you have one Eggy and then have the 3 big boys. I don't know what the correct answer is, but you ain't gonna see that till 6.0. So basically their fix is to make Summoner overpowered and make Black Mages cry, because they were good for one patch.
One patch. And I didn't even get to experience it. I got my Black Mage up and then I didn't play it again, really. So.
Oh, and Bane is basically Iron Jaw's AoE. There is a reduction in potency.
That needed to happen, though, because I cannot... When you have a large pack and you have multiple... I'm not going to dot everything individually and then try to keep the dots up and then, oh, no.
I mean, that was the name of the game, but boy howdy, sure is nice now.
All right. Red mage, I don't know. White mage. My asylum bubble's a little bigger. Someone's like, hey, are you loving that asylum bubble? And I'm like, it was big and now it's bigger. Okay. People still will stand outside of it if they possibly can, so. And temperance apparently now goes off right after you use it instead of being, apparently it used to have a lag. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I haven't talked to any astrologians. I know that some people were confused about this collective unconscious change. It's been revamped, but I could not explain it. I'm glad reprisal for the tank roll now is all enemies. I have reprisalled. Mm-hmm. You can now rescue more often for healers.
Very nice.
There you go. 30 seconds faster. Let's see. They added. Oh, Summoner, you guys got an actual trait.
A potency.
Increases the potency of outburst to 90. Increase, yeah.
Great.
And you lost enhanced try disaster.
Goodbye, ruination. We'll hardly miss you.
Oh, they changed some help text. Let's see. The display of resource costs with action icons has been adjusted. Lily and Blood Lily costs will no longer display on action icons. I never looked at them anyway, I guess. Basically, the icon's either lit up or it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I don't know. Can't talk about these. I don't know anything about them. I know Gunbreakers were happy to hear that there would be a sound for powder gauge. Is that powder gauge?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, I do like the soul voice gauge hitting 100 sound. Yeah. Yes, adding a sound when things are happening is not bad.
I like dings.
I like dings. A sound will not play when white mage's blood lily blooms. I haven't really noticed the sound.
I want to moan when the blood lily blooms.
I just like killing things. I like using blood lily. I like the lily system now, which we were one of the biggest likes, what the fuck is this lily thing? Because it was so fucking useless. But I like it now. It feels pretty good now. All right. Pets can be displayed on the party list. Thank you. I will no longer wonder if my fairy died or not.
I had to put the pet display up visibly in front of my face so I knew my pet was out at all times, because upon a wipe, you just think the pet's coming back. No. So,
and you can't target it in the party list, but who cares? You can't do it. I can't heal pets anymore anyway. Right?
Right.
Because it
was funny. Last night we were doing something and I summoned Bahamut and Belle Dandy said, "Oh my God, did that kill your Eggy?" And I was like, "What? No." Some attack went off and she goes, "Did that kill the Eggy?" And I'm like, "No."
I didn't know what he was talking about. I heard him say that and I'm like, I don't.
Did that kill your carbuncle? I'm like, "No."
Well, because enemy attacks don't hardly touch.
You can't hurt
them
anymore.
Or does it not at all?
Not at all. Can't hurt them anymore.
Lord. Wow. I remember as a healer coming up, leveling up and clearing stuff, and I remember purposely healing Eggies.
Yeah.
And I remember people getting mad that their Eggy died because I didn't do my job.
Well, and these things come up a lot in summoner discussions on the forums because it goes back to, well, you can't do anything with the Eggies, so why do we have Physic again? And is having Physic keeping us from having our full potential? And then why do we have these Eggies anymore when we have the Demi summons? And, it starts going into, why do we have all this shit left over from 1.0, I think is what it amounts to, or 2.0, the splitting of the jobs from 1.
Well, summoners don't have that one that the damage or that the physical classes get. What's it that you hit that heals yourself, right?
No,
they're a magic class, so they get a heal. I think the only one who doesn't get a heal on a magic class is Black Mage. I think having Physic is fine. I think you should have your own heal, even if it's fucking weak, just for, whatever. But because I used to also use that one that would let you heal your pet. It was green. What was it?
Yeah, it was like the AoE, not the AoE, the regen on the pet.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it just comes back to Physic is one of those things that was very helpful when you had to heal your pet. it's not as helpful when you're not healing a pet any longer. So is this, and then it starts getting into the red mage territory. Is it Raise that causes red mage to be one of the weakest DPS? If that's the case, get rid of Raise so I can be a stronger DPS. But then we want the utility, and then people have ideas.
Some of it's job identity too,
right?
Better or worse. And I read an interesting. I haven't played much red mage, but the logic dictates when you're progressing, you take a red mage. When you're farming, you take a black mage or whatever, right? And honestly, again, though, I read these things and they really only matter for some tiny percent of people who care about min-maxing to that level. For the most part, when I'm doing a mount farm party on an EX Primal, I'm not tossing red mages to the curb saying, go level black mage. So what, the fight takes 2 minutes longer or whatever.
Right.
A minute longer? Who the fuck cares? Play what you want. It bothers me that, and no, I'm not blaming parsers, but the minute someone notices there's a percentage difference in clear times from something, it's like, well, I'm not taking a red mage because we're on farm. It doesn't fucking matter. You're playing the game to waste your time anyway. It's like, people are like, the game doesn't respect my time, and I'm like, what else would you be doing? Would you be out gardening or, working in a soup kitchen? No. You're
working on your car in the garage.
Yeah. All right. Summoner's Dummy Phoenix can no longer be targeted.
I didn't even know that was a deal.
I think I've accidentally clicked on one, and been confused for a second, but yeah, okay. All attacks from Arcanists and Summoner pets are magic attacks. They adjusted the shit out of Blue Mage. Guys, I'm not reading them.
Now, is this actually done yet, or is this the 5.15 stuff?
This is patch notes for 5.1, and it says the following Blue Mage actions have been adjusted. I'm assuming this is in.
There's an asterisk at the top, even though there's not one down below, that says Blue Mage updates and Onsal Haraka, whatever, that other PvP thing, I guess, are scheduled to be released in patch 5.15. Now, that might be the additional Blue Mage content, because aren't we getting more Blue Mage content?
I don't see an asterisk. Oh, no, this is 2 and 3. 2.0 and 3.0 stuff. Blue Mage has been adjusted as follows.
This might be current updates, and then we may be getting more Blue Mage.
Because I don't see an asterisk here.
Right. Yeah, there's only one way at the top of the notes. Way at the top.
Honestly, I wish they would quit putting anything in the fucking notes that isn't for the upcoming patch.
Right.
And just maybe make a whole separate thing that's like, and this is the stuff. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, none of this shit is new. It's just potency increases and then change in the way that they list some of the Mass Carnival information. Instead of showing it as resistances, they're showing vulnerabilities.
Okay.
And there's some different filtering now.
Well, I do like this one that says the success rate of learning actions from enemies has been increased.
That's great.
And the success rate for learning actions from enemies will be increased further when entering duties with the undersized party setting disabled. Okay, so if you're trying to undersized party to do it faster, you're going to actually get a nerf. They've used a negative here. The success rate of learning actions from enemies will be increased further when entering duties with the undersized party setting disabled.
If you do it right, you'll have a better chance of getting the ability. Do it right, whatever. People
are cranky about this one. Using Blue Mage spells that incapacitate self will now apply the brush with death status effect. People were saying this was going to cause some problem, and then people were arguing, no, it won't. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway. And there's a filter in the Blue Mage spellbook. That's good, because I was scrolling through the Blue Mage spellbook was a pain in the ass. So.
Right. For the aspects and stuff, like trying to figure out what abilities and stuff and having a mouse over all of them and all that junk. Yeah.
Because you get a lot of abilities. I still am missing some, but...
Oh, I don't have a lot of them. I told Cinna when she's ready to kind of get back into the game, I'd like to try to do some Blue Mage content with her. And she said that actually sounded kind of fun.
I would enjoy doing a group of Blue Mage shit. I did a lot right when it came out. I leveled and I unlocked and I think I got all of the primal abilities, which was a pain, but I kind of enjoyed it because I get a thrill when it's a low drop rate and I get it.
Yeah.
I'm one of those crazy people that enjoys grinding. I enjoy RNG because it feels better. It feels really good to me when I get it. So there's not much in this game that's got that thrill, but Blue Mage kind of does. So I may have to go back and revisit my Blue Mage. All right, a new dungeon, the Grand Cosmos, has been added. It's a big ass castle with ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't find the dungeon itself that interesting. I liked some of the mechanics and some of the bosses.
Right. Yeah.
This is not going to be a fun dungeon to try to run quickly. The whole thing is chopped up into doors. Very
much so.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I was very confused. I don't know if we get to it later, but it's where they added this to the expert, but they didn't take Amarat away from the expert. So now we have 4 dungeons in the expert roulette.
I initially was like, yes, they're actually going to leave that one in expert. And then I was reading the stuff about the eye level cap.
The eye level cap.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
So, but where do you put it becomes the question, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't have a category that it would fit into.
They don't have enough dungeons to put it in that category, so it'd be lost for now. And then people trying to clear the story would not be able to clear the story. I get it, but I think they screwed themselves over.
Yeah, I think... Well, and honestly, I don't care. I'll run that dungeon 100 times. I don't care that I get my high eye level nerfed. It's not that hard of a dungeon to begin with.
Right.
And it's really cool, and you're going to get it a lot with people who haven't seen it before, so it's really fun seeing the person going, oh my god.
Well, and do your wondrous tales and get your points, I guess.
Yeah, get your new player bonuses. I do like, I like that the roulette has more than, because we complained for years, some of the initial roulettes were a coin flip, and that's not a roulette. Because you remember Matt tweeted back. He's like, what do you want us to do or whatever? Mm-hmm. And we're like, a roulette should have more than 2 things.
Right.
Honestly, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's going to take me how many minutes to get through a dungeon. I'm mostly doing dungeons for a roulette anyway. I'm mostly doing roulettes for tombstones anyway. I guess, or for fun, because sometimes people have fun when they play these games.
Gods forfend.
I don't know if you've heard, Ruby, but you don't get, like, a score at the end of the week in your real life of how awesome when you are.
I get a paycheck.
You get money in the
mail.
mail.
I care about.
Sometimes things you do them just because they're fun.
That is true. I enjoyed this dungeon. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty easy. Again, maybe I don't know. I guess I expected after a month of not playing and then jumping right into content, my job was going to feel really clunky, and I might have some difficulty in a dungeon. And I had no difficulty in this dungeon whatsoever.
Ruby, because I wanted to take the twins, I couldn't go in as a healer. So I put on my Black Mage, which I haven't played since I leveled it, and I never learned a rotation. I had no deaths, no wipes. It was way easy, and I get it. I get it. It's part of the storyline. You can't make it hard. But dungeons are really just so trivial. And
this is why I think when people argue or they believe that choosing very easy on some quest story cutscene battle is going to make or break somebody later down the road, when the soulless loot tunnel itself isn't a very good measure of somebody's skill. You're looking at the wrong content to bash people on. You can look at expert easily and see people who don't know how to push buttons good, and they're moving into the EX primals and so on and so forth. So you look closer to home. Don't worry about what somebody doing the story is checking, what box they're checking. I don't know. Moving on.
So the next topic, I want to do a scientific measurement whether or not Tales from the DF has gotten significantly less posts in the last 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Probably not. So they finally did what I have been begging and praying they would do. A minimum item level requirement has been added to the following dungeons. And these are all storyline ones, right? Dusk Vigil, Somal, Airy Vault, Grey Google Library Center. Yeah. So all those dungeons where you would I remember just Siren Song C just being fucking brutal because I'd get it in my roulette where I have, Savage gear on. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not Savage gear, but upgraded Tombstone gear at least. And I'd get in there with someone wearing level 50 pink stuff. Yeah. Right? That I would get tanks that could not take an auto attack. And they have fixed it, man. And again, they're generous, right? Eye level 100 still kind of low for the Dusk Vigil, but it keeps half-naked people out.
Sure.
That should be the name of the podcast. Less half-naked people.
Less half-naked people.
I don't know. It's just, Doma Castle also used to spank people.
Oh, yes. I was about to say, between Bardam's Metal and Doma Castle, there was some serious spanking happening there. And that was happening in real time back in the day, let alone people wearing greens that they may have found, in A Realm Reborn content.
Well, and I understand. I have accidentally sold all of my accessories. Hit the button that changes my gear set and not noticed. Or hit the button that says, give me the best gear I own and queued up. And been like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. But that's not the majority of these Tales from the Duty Finder stories. Not at all. These aren't people who accidentally click the glamour button.
Well, and I would have bowed out. I'm actually very thankful when someone bows out, being like, oh, I'm naked, or all my gear's broke. Then you can leave. I'm sad. Aurum Vale and what's the other one?
Which one? Not Cutter's Cry.
Darkhold.
Darkhold.
I think those two, while not being storyline dungeons, also get a lot of shit. Aurum Vale isn't that hard, guys. I have
really
taken
not.
complete fucking noobs through it. You may have to type lots, but you can't get new equipment while you're in there unless you actually kill something. So
I just don't understand how people can't hug a left wall. For the love of God.
Hug the left wall. No.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, well.
Well, it's kind of the irregularity of this game, right? It goes from just basically roll your face across the keyboard equals success to, oh, I have to push buttons good. Mm-hmm. I have to prepare. I'm so old. I'm like back in my day in Final Fantasy XI, we used to have to. I would bring the set of gear I would level into to every EXP party, and I'd have potions.
Because you didn't leave.
Have food, and I have.
Because if you left,
whatever.
It was over.
No, I had my scrolls on me for the next 2 levels, even if it took me 2 weeks to get there. I don't know. So, but this game is much more. I don't want to say casual, but it's much more accessible. Much more.
Yeah, accessible is a good word for it.
Yeah, it's. But there are times where I feel like some people abuse that accessibility, and nothing in the game tells them that they're being naughty. You know what I mean? And if you tell them they're bad for not having, gear that it is not, 20 levels under them, much less item levels, you get reported. I mean, you get kicked out of dungeons for saying, why are you wearing crafting gear?
Yeah.
So, or casting gear. You probably can't wear crafting gear. I have seen some screenshots of tanks in, casting gear pieces, because they used to have, all classes on them.
Right. I use those for glamour a lot, yeah.
All right, they added a new trial, Hades Elegy. I cannot wait to do this.
Yeah,
I have not done it.
We've got one coming up Saturday, I believe.
Well, I do.
Well, yeah, not me. I'm doing stuff.
I think you are doing something in your real life.
Yeah, I'm out, but I will. I'll catch it on the flip side when you guys carry me through it.
I'm excited because this is described as between Eden 1 and Eden 2 Savage. And our listeners know I didn't find Eden 1 that hard. And Eden 2, I think a couple more hours in there, I probably would have gotten my clear. But honest to God, when people clear stuff and I'm not there, I get anxiety and I'm the bad one and whatever. And I probably am not. But this is supposed to be between those two, so I think I can clear it. But then I also have flashbacks of Shinryu, which was hard. All right. But I know nothing about this. But you can unlock it. Go to the Minstrelling Wanderer in the Crystarium. They changed some stuff in Thornmarch. I think it was kind of like the adjustments they made to some of the other bosses where you can't just wipe by pushing buttons really hard.
Yeah, I feel like these were Blue Mage changes. This helped Blue Mages.
Weekly restriction to Eden's Gate has been removed. This does not include the Blade, which lets you get now, what is it, 4? 5? What is it? Is
4.
It 4? 4 instead of 7, I think, to unlock a weapon. So, but you can farm up the rest of the stuff all you want. Oh, and that's the next thing in here. Instead of 7, you need 4 blades to get a weapon. Oh.
Next one's great.
They fixed... I think it's great, except for when we used to get the long instance, we were like, yeah. But I don't mind them fixing it. Yeah, there was a thing where, like, the high-end duties, the timing of hard and rage mechanics, and there was, like, a discrepancy in the total length of the encounter for every given attempt. They've apparently figured that out.
Good.
So, all right, they added the copy factory. We've already talked about it. It's amazeballs.
Bullet hell.
Bullet hell. You can now get the items to upgrade your Phantomagora gear. You can get it using the token from either the Near Raid or from Sacks of Nuts. Mm-hmm. So this lets you upgrade everything except for your weapon. That usually comes with the second part of the 24-man raid, where you need a coin from each to get there. So do run your raid every week. You won't get Echo. You will now get Echo in Dancing Plague, Crown of the Immaculate, Dying Gasp, and the Extreme Ones and Orborn raid. Yep. You can now use Undersized Party for the Great Hunt and the Great Hunt Extreme.
Cool.
I could take noobs through Extreme on Mentor Roulette, but I guess no one else should have to suffer. I don't know. It was such a cool and unique fight. Now I'm like, Undersized is just going to let people spank it, but whatever. I still don't have my dragon because I haven't focused on it. You can now interrupt Malice that the mimics cast in deep dungeons. Okay. They've adjusted the Forbidden Land Eureka. The Echo will take effect when entering, increasing your HP, damage dealt, and healing potency. It does not count for the Baldician Arsenal expedition. It's easier to spawn notorious monsters, and story quest completions no longer required to ride mounts.
I like that.
This eases it a bit for people who want to go in and farm up some stuff. Oh, they've changed a bunch of monster stuff, like spawning elite marks has been adjusted, the resistance of certain monsters, and I mean placements for a couple things have been adjusted. We've already talked about this a little bit. Exploratory missions have been removed.
Yep.
So you cannot do the Dynam. Raid Finder, they've added blah, blah, blah. This is all stuff they do every time. They added the Grand Cosmos to Duty Roulette. The required average item level for Roulette Expert has been increased from 410 to 430. Mm-hmm. They added the Grand Cosmos and Copied Factor to Mentor. This is all stuff they do every time. Let's see. Mentor Roulette, you have to have 435.
Okay.
Oh. The enmity generated by the actions Choco Drop and Choco Strike has been increased. That's good because my Chocobo could not tank worth a fuck.
Oh, no.
All right, let's cover this next. Let's make a pledge to do some PvP, and we'll cover some of this next time. PvP has been significantly changed, y'all. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, and to be quite fair here, the notes are brief. For more details regarding changes, please refer to the job guide. So it's pretty brief itself here.
I'm a little upset by your party size while registering is limited to 4 players.
Yeah.
So I might get 8 players in my PvP event on Monday night, but I can only take 4 at a time. We're gonna have to split. We'll have to split up. Who knows? We're gonna have to queue up separately. Who knows if we're gonna get put on the same team?
Mm-hmm.
It should still be a good time, but I get that they were probably trying to fight pre-mades that were working like a well-oiled machine versus people who queued up separately. But,
I guess. But if everybody was doing it, then it's fair. So if we were going to do it, I mean, it's not like we were a well-oiled machine. We were just in a group chat having fun. I didn't look at us that way. I guess the advantage of communication is we can kick ass and like strategize. But there wasn't much strategy. It was like run here. Oh, look west. You know, that kind of shit. So
yeah,
I wouldn't call us a well-oiled machine. Maybe there were other groups that were doing that. I find it does take some of the fun away that we couldn't queue up as a large group to do.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm sad. I wish they had. I feel like they have to give us a noob version, right? I think they would need to give us like some frontline shit that's like just like casual.
Yeah,
queue up for whatever. I take away some of the rewards. I don't care. I don't know. It's hard to be the now 5th or 10th person or 9th person to log in. It's rough. They increased mount speed. They changed return. You can now just return. Oh, you don't have to wait to be returned back after being incapacitated. It's always 5 seconds, no matter how much you die. And I'm talking about me. Oh, and when it reaches 0, you're just going to get put back automatically. They've changed the adrenaline gauge. I never understood it to begin with because I'm terrible. Oh, when doing secure, the icons are going to be on the map 30 seconds prior to them showing up. Oh, they're going to tell us 30 seconds before the Icebound monoliths. Oh. I actually like Shatter, but I don't know why.
I like Shatter. That's my favorite.
Yeah. They took away we talked about this before. I think it was in the patch notes before. You have to have 72 people now to do frontlines. Right. They took away that 8v8v8 one. Battle High has changes.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know what Battle High does.
You won't be able to see the Battle High any longer on the map, and instead of it being like you kill 4 people and now you're Battle High or whatever, it's of some point system, so the more points you get, the stronger you get, up to 5 tiers, which will increase your own damage. But you won't be able to get marked on the map because people won't know if you have Battle High or not unless they like target you, and you'll have like a cool symbol next to your name. Depending.
Okay, so it shows up visually, just not on the map.
Just not on the map.
Okay, that seems like a reasonable change. They added new items. Guys, I don't love either of these gear sets. I know some people are in love with them, but I think that first set's the dungeon set, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the second set's the new PvP sets.
Right.
I tried all of the PvP ones on last night, and I'm not a fan, but that's just me.
I mean, I like Metal Gear, so, I mean, this is, cool. There's some cool stuff. I need to look and see which one's which, because I dig the red visors, but I'm afraid, Healer's going to get this green visor. And
I thought it was blue, like
is
a line
it?
across.
Okay, so I'm not sure. Maybe that's Caster.
Okay, so see the bunny girl on the left?
Yeah.
The next one over's got the cap. I think that's the healer set because it's more of a jacket. It's clothy.
Okay.
I think that's the healer one.
Interesting.
I would not wear any of these visors, but
well, I'm just not a fan that they're all different colors. I would want them to all be the same color because I would want to mix and match, and it's not fair for me that one job has a different color that I can't have. I don't like it.
Well, and when you toggle the visor, it really is whether it glows a color or not. So you can turn that off. It seems like.
I gotcha.
They added They added a lot of new recipes, I think. But this jacket looks cool. This glamour's neat. They've apparently patched in the Christmas and Valentine's Day stuff because they've changed the certificates or whatever the item was from the event into an expired version.
They're moldy.
They're moldy now. This is all desynthing stuff.
Yeah, desynth stuff got because you can't. These items are going to do weird stuff. You don't need the.
You don't need them anymore. None of these for beginner stuff that used to reset your blacksmith or reset your desynthesis skills. I've desynthed some stuff. I think they hit kind of a happy medium with this, right? So they're like, everybody can desynth everything, but you get better results if you've leveled it. So they didn't because I was mad at first. I'm like, but I worked really hard to get my goldsmith desynth up or whatever. And my cooking one too, because I was desynthing stuff, you could only get from that. But yeah, they've changed it.
Well, I'll say this, and I haven't tried it yet, but there's a point, my goldsmith desynth is very high, but there was a point where most of the items that I was getting, I couldn't desynth because they were greens that came from a dungeon from, Heavensward or above, more, Stormblood or above. And I couldn't get enough old gear for me to desynth and actually skill up on. I either couldn't do it or I was finding items that were way under level and I couldn't get any skill points on them. So I didn't want to go buy or craft a bunch of gear to do this with. So I just kind of been just doing little by little. When I find something, I'll go ahead and desynth it and I'll get that 1 or 2 points. What I'm happy about are these item changes. I'm super happy about it because I've got a bunch of these Tinker Calms. I don't think I have any of the bacon broth because I still have to do that quest that you can get from the Evilise. Right before you take off, you can get all those bacon broth from the guy. Anyway, I got a bunch of Tinker's Calm, and I might use these if this is what I think, and it gives you an increase to the skill gain. I might do that and then just get a bunch of rings, even ones that... Because I could get a bunch of rings that I wasn't able to do before. Now, even though I'm not going to get a bunch of good gear from it, I might not get any good items, I can at least use them to skill up. So, I don't know. I think there's a benefit. All those gears that I couldn't use before, now I can at least use to help skill up instead of, trying to get something great out of it. It's more for me bettering myself.
Yeah, and I am to the point where I always have so much... When you run a lot of dungeons, you have so much stuff to turn in for Grand Company points that there's nothing left to buy. Yeah. I have so many adventures and so many of the repair material. I've been buying the scrolls that teleport you right back to the counter. Mm-hmm.
Me too.
All right. Some items may now be sold, desynthesized, submitted as expert deliveries, and converted into materia. That's for 2 point whatever and 4 point whatever. That's interesting. They've added... Guys, let's take this whole next bit in one fell swoop. They did changes to crafting.
Yeah.
Right? They've added stuff, they've removed stuff, they've adjusted stuff. Crafting, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. What they've done is insane. I think bottom line, I've done some crafting, and I've read stuff other people have written about the crafting. Crafting right now is very easy. All of your abilities make it very easy to pretty much craft anything. And the newest crafting and gathering gear are so powerful that, and you don't even need all the pieces to craft anything in the game right now.
Oh, wow.
So, right. So it's
all right. Well, let me tell you what I did first thing, and then I want to get your opinion for those that are wanting to get back into crafting, what they want to do. First thing I did, I looked at my crafters, and of course you see all these posts that are like doom and gloom. I got on my bar and everything was grayed out, which is pretty much true. Everything will be grayed out. But all those abilities are not like really, really gone. They've just been either the level's been changed or what they do has been changed or both. And you can just re-drag them back down to the bar where you had them. Now,
well,
that was
a
about
lot of them
half.
are gone. There's no cross-class ones left at all.
Right.
You can put every single ability you have at all on 3 bars. Mm-hmm. So there has been a reduction overall of a number of buttons, which is not bad, right? Some of those were like, why would I ever push this button again? Because I have this new button.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, a lot of the ones I saw were gone were the 2s. Mm-hmm. Such and such 2. Only Waste Not 2 was the only one I saw that had a 2 after it any longer.
Yeah, and that one automatically upgrades when you get the trait, I think.
Oh, see, that's a much smarter idea than having all the button bloat. But what would you suggest, Yelta, for somebody trying to like get back into crafting or is getting back into 5.1 and going like, what the fuck should I start off with?
Like what job or
like what should they do as far as like getting into crafting? What did you do?
The first
did you read
thing
a Reddit
I did,
post? Did you?
I read a Reddit post that gave me the how to build a certain macro. One of the macros just completely empty. I had 4 bars of crafting stuff. Completely just empty your bar fucking completely. Put sprint back wherever you have your sprint key located because you're still going to need to run around. I used another macro that just basically put every ability on 3 bars. I have another macro that whatever job I am on just copies. I first fixed alchemy or something, and then I switched to every other crafting job and just basically hit a macro that says copy the alchemy buttons to culinary and copy the alchemy buttons to whatever's current. Right? They're all the same now. So that's the first thing I did. And then, I don't know, start reading your tool tips. Overall, one of these notes is overall experience points gained for crafting classes has been increased. If you're just leveling up, it's very easy to level up.
Cool.
Right? It's very, but I think some of the people are saying doom and gloom and whatever, but this is part 1 of the crafting and gathering changes, right?
Yeah.
We're getting Ishgard Restoration in, is it 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
And they've already described to us that the Ishgard Restoration is basically just the barely launching off point. It's basically you're going to be crafting and gathering. Oh, I don't even know if it's the gathering yet. I can't remember. Just you're basically building base camp to do the rest of it. Right? So in 5.2, we're getting the rest of the crafting and gathering adjustments, which I'm hoping that they made it really easy and really accessible right now, and you're way overpowered and you level up very quickly, really in preparation for this Ishgard Restoration. Mm-hmm. That's my hope. But we had button bloat. It needed a rework.
It was time. It was
definitely time. I still have to find or build a macro that just lets me do my 60 durability weekly collectible or custom delivery turn-ins. Mm-hmm. But I crafted them all manually yesterday, and I got high qualities on all of them, so it wasn't that bad. In fact, now I just have like 2 crafters to get up to 80. I dinged on Goldsmith yesterday.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm hoping this is just step 1, and then step 2 will maybe introduce in. I'm hoping they're doing with crafting what they kind of tried to do anyway with the battle classes, which makes it easy and accessible to do it, level it, craft a few things, just kind of a casual, low effort way, get into it. And then I hope though that some of that Ishgard Restoration stuff I have to have good gear. I have to have excellent gear. And I have to know how to push buttons good. Right? So I'm hoping that it has I hope that the floor is fairly low for entry, right? But I'm hoping that the ceiling is high for, and then, as the game progresses, even those people who, like me, I usually only craft by hitting, copying somebody else's macro and crafting. Right? You wouldn't call me a crafter, but I do crafting. I level my crafters, but I'm like super casual about it. I'm not doing it, bleeding end game kind of crafting. In fact, I beg other people to craft. I beg Bell Dandy to craft stuff for me quite often because he tends to know what buttons to push good. But I'm hoping that what we're seeing today isn't the future of craft. People are like, crafting is dead and blah, 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 blah.
No, this is the beginning.
I'm like, this is like them. I feel like they're like rebasing. They're like, what's that word? They're like they're re-somethinging. Right? This is the rebuilding crafting. This is just the bottom floor. We're at the lobby of crafting. I hope that the stuff they add will, give you, I hope that whatever Ishgard Restoration is, lets you level crafting, learn crafting, be a better crafter, and then really fucking show off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they needed to rebase the crafting.
Yeah. For the sake of time, gathering as well, huge changes.
It didn't seem as big to me, and I did some mining and I did some botany yesterday, but it didn't seem as big.
Okay.
But it's still not very hard to gather stuff.
I think we could have a huge discussion at some point over crafting and gathering changes, and I could see us having a full episode on that, especially when Ishgard Restoration comes around.
And I'd like to, if anybody out there considers themselves a good crafter and or gatherer, you may be getting a guest on who maybe does this stuff more than I do. I don't know how much you craft or gather. I just kind of level it and that's it usually.
I'm gonna skip us all the way down to let's see. There's adjustments made to Glamour Dresser. That's just above where we've got new mounts that have been added.
Mm-hmm.
Glamour Dresser checkbox to only view items equipable with your current race and gender has been added. Thank you.
That one sounded good to me, yeah.
Filter to view gear for specific classes and jobs have been added. A checkbox to filter out gear set items has been added. That is a big one right there. All good changes to Glamour Dresser.
I have one quick thing about the gathering classes.
Oh, yeah.
There's now a toggleable checkbox that just lets you keep gathering whatever you're
I love that idea.
It really just keeps me from clicking my mouse while I'm watching something on the other screen. Right? So you can't use any abilities because it's like quick crafting. It's just keep hammering this one until it's gone. And
but it'll only go for as many slices or chops or whatever.
Yep. It's like just if you kept clicking your mouse button, that's all it really does. And a lot of people have programmable keyboards that already had if I hit this button, just keep hitting chop.
Might as well, right?
Yep. Oh, by the way, you said new mounts added. I need this mount. I hope I win the first one because it is purple and black, and that is my jam.
You will. You will. I won't even be there to see you win it, but I know you will.
Oh, if we even clear it, I have flashbacks of Shinryu where I had to go clear it with pugs.
Climb on that tail.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Get up there. The other mount, the I don't remember what they're called. Mm-hmm. The Winged Lion of Light. That's from Hunt Marks and from Nuts, and that's expensive. But I've seen one, and it's glorious, honestly.
Cool.
It's kind of but riding that through the first kind of feels like me taking my Magic Tech armor through Gridania. Right? I feel like, run.
Who's Vautry now, bitches?
I know a lot of people like this next one quick. You don't have to do I Believe I Can Fly to make the Legacy Chocobo. Some of these other Chocobos. Your company Chocobo, you still have to do it, right? Yeah. But at least you don't have to do the quest to do these. They've added new Chocobo Bardings. They've added new minions. They've added... Oh, you can upgrade your item level 450 crafted stuff to 460.
It's always a good thing.
It's all on one NPC now, though. You don't have to run across Ralgar's Reach to buy the stuff and then turn it in.
Burn Ralgar's Reach to the ground.
Oh my god, I'm still salty. Ralgar's Reach never actually got upgraded.
Just stayed a shithole the entire time.
It was a shithole the whole time. I haven't done the favorites list on the market board. I have no idea if there is even anything you can do. There's a lot of other stuff. I have no idea what.
Tell us about our fellowship. We started a fellowship.
Okay,
How's that been?
So Okay, so fellowships are weird, and I still to this moment do not really understand how we're supposed to use them. You create a fellowship, which is just basically a thing. I've created a thing, and you can search and join my thing, but it doesn't really notify me that you joined it. So you have a menu. You can see what fellowships you okay, so first you can search for a new fellowship, but there's no really good filtering or sorting. You can basically filter by language and by so you can pick up to 3, goals of your fellowship. I think I did making friends, casual, and battle or something. So you can search on one of them. And maybe it'll get better later, but right now there are pages and pages and pages of fellowships. So you go out there and you find a fellowship that looks interesting. I did a hunts fellowship or a treasure maps fellowship. You click on it and you join. And you go in there and there's a page that has some notices. So if you go right now to the Nothica's Bosom Fellowship, you can see that on, I don't remember what night, we're doing a thing. But you have to check it. It's like your email. Nothing's going to notify you. You have to go check it. So you have to go check to see if... So that's a little weird. But it does allow you to communicate back and forth a little bit, but it's more like a forum of short posts back and forth. It's not... You wouldn't really have it's not like a link shell. You can't have full-fledged communications back and forth. There's a way to do a poll. I may have to do a poll just for an experiment. So Nothica's Bosom does have a fellowship. It's up there right now. You can go find it and 1,000 people can join. But I don't know what you're really going to do with it. Yeah, I guess. It's another place to put your Discord link, I guess. It maybe will help people find... I'm in a hunt train one. And they've been pretty good for the last 24 hours putting... where the train is right now and on what server, but you have to go look for it. This is, and you can search for it and join it if people have been recruiting. Otherwise, you have to find someone who's either the master or they didn't call it officer or the modder. I don't remember what they called it. They can add people, but I don't know. The system's it's a little weird. I'm still not 100% sure what to do with it.
I hadn't used it at all. I mean, I added it.
You're in it.
You're
in it, and I think I made you...
You made me somebody. You put a crown on me or something.
Yeah. I think you and Belle and I are the only ones who can do anything in there right now. But I don't know. It's weird, right? It's I don't know. It's weird to me. I'm not entirely sure. And there are fellowships out there for everything. There's fellowships out there for, all sorts of types of people. I kind of hope that it will... I want them to make the sorting and filtering a little better. But there are some, maybe some things that have been putting up as, stupid party finder stuff. Maybe could be better done in a fellowship. But there's no way to, sign up for events, right? So I can be this... I can make a fellowship that's just for doing treasure maps. And I can put a notice that says, we're doing a treasure map party on Thursday night at 9 o'clock, but there's no way to actually sign up. There's no way to see who signed up. There's no way to invite people to a party quickly from it, I don't think. I have to play with it some more, honestly. Yeah. I still don't understand what we're supposed to do with it. I mean, their example one is why not share your glamour and take a group pose with us, meet up at Limsa Laminsa Lower Docks every Thursday at 7 p.m. Well, what time zone are you fucking talking about? First of all, what server are you on? So it's... And they've got the recruitment target set at 24 people. That's the first thing I noticed. So I did all the things. I set it up. I put it up as put the recruitment up. Bell Dandy joined. And then he's like, Yelta, you have to put this up on recruitment. And I'm like, I've been searching for it all day. No, you have to actually, once you hit your target, you can't invite more people.
Wow.
Or people can't auto-join. Anyway, I don't know how to use it. It's a little weird. But anyway. Ruby, I see you posting in Discord.
Look at my rotation, Yelta. I'm looking at my
doing
rotation.
Your rotation.
Studying.
Is John fucking Madden on there anywhere? Is there a John?
Probably.
Does it say John fucking Madden? Because that's my favorite. That's my favorite meme with rotations. They changed some mentor stuff. We're not going to go over it. They've changed how to become a mentor, how to re-up your status. They've made a clear distinction between battle and trade mentors. You have to renew your certificate. They made some group pose changes and character lightings and character display. This is all group pose stuff.
I did do group pose while I was in that NPC battle as that one character, and it worked. I didn't know you.
Really? I never would have thought of that. That's amazing.
I did.
They changed what duties can be recorded. Not that I ever am in duties that anybody records.
Well, they update that regularly.
Yeah, every time. It's always like the next two, right? The Dying Gasp and Eden Gate's Subculture Savage. It used to be Dancing Plague and Crown of the Immaculate. Your current item level will now be displayed in a duty finder. I didn't notice this.
Yeah, I've been seeing it.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Oh. The layout of the first Dungeons, Trials, and Raid tab has been adjusted for easier navigation. It's by patch or by expansion. Nice. We were going to get too many tabs going across it to not do this, so that's good. You can disable the effects of the echo in Duty Finder. All right. Duty Finder settings have been I noticed this one last night. The layout of the Duty Finder settings menu has been changed. So whether or not you join party in progress, or do undersized or minimum eye level, or silence the echo, or be a freelancer, change your loot rules in your language. All of that looks it's much easier. I think it's much
I love the way it looks.
Oh, this next one is weird because this has been around forever. The party leader will no longer change when entering a duty without role restrictions. It's always been just changing whoever the fuck the leader is.
Yeah, random.
It's weird. You can now blacklist other players actively recruiting for party members in the Party Finder. Recruitment listings for players on your blacklist will no longer display. I've started blacklisting people who are like selling content or something. I'll probably unblacklist them later, but it's like when I'm trying to use the Party Finder, it makes me crazy. And no, I don't want to set it to whatever because I want to see what I want to do tonight. I don't want to restrict it other than that. You can sort your emotes. There's a favorites tab. You get a sound now when other players emote at you. I haven't turned that on. Somebody emoted at me and I wasn't paying attention. I felt bad. Oh, the collection menu is confusing. That has only to do with the raid, right? The new Nier raid.
Mm-hmm.
And I searched everywhere for it. In fact, I swear to God, I opened the duty tab about 4 times after doing the thing where it should have shown up in there, and I didn't see it. I did eventually see it, but I don't know. Maybe there's a bug.
I picked up all those little question mark boxes. I didn't even know what to look for.
Did you get 11? I had 11.
I don't even know.
Bell Dandy had 11. We compared notes.
I got a lot. I know that.
They've taken away being automatically logged out. And
I noticed that.
Field instances are removed.
Because I walked away a few times. I was like, I didn't get booted.
Copy item name function is in the subcommand. I don't know. I've never used that. Text cursors in the chat log with controller. I can't help you. Consolidate settings for individual chat channels. There's a chat log settings menu now. That's cool. Oh, okay. So instead of having like the one page for all of them, now you are dealing with each individual channel. That's cool. Grasshopper, Mount Roulette. Oh, Mount Roulette. You can now use it when swimming or submerged underwater. If you've got that on a bar. That used to drive me crazy, but then I finally took Mount Roulette off my bar and just summoned what I want.
Oh, I see. I never used Mount Roulette, so I didn't know there was an issue there. Interesting.
They changed some log messages for Allied Seers, Centurion Seals, Sacks of Nuts, Wool Marks, Bicolor Gemstones. They've adjusted it, blah, blah, blah. I haven't gotten a friend request lately, so I can't confirm this next one. They've changed the options. I don't know. There's some controller stuff here. No idea. Oh, I have... So the equalizer, I put mine on bass boost, by the way. So in sounds, you have an equalizer mode now. I couldn't tell the difference, but wow. I'm probably old and deaf.
Maybe you need some surround sound equipment. And THX. So there's a THX place somewhere nearby here. And I'm like, that seems so old. I think of like episode 1, Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, they've changed some stuff in the keybind menu for collection fellowship. Oh, so stuff they added. There's a whole bunch of slash commands. Go read the notes yourself. I don't know. All this stuff seems to be different. Overall, sound output has been lowered. Apparently the game was too loud for some people. I'm old. The next one, okay, so new battle voices for player characters have been added. I heard a lot of guessing what this might mean. None of us got to reroll and like choose new battle voices for ourselves. So I'm assuming this is just adding additional battle voices for each palette or something, so we wouldn't be like making the same 2 noises every time. But I'd love to hear if anybody's noticed what this really means. There's so much other stuff here that I don't even want to cover. I know a lot of people will spam the button for you when you have a login queue. Don't do that. They're just going to add 30 seconds to your queue time, by the way.
Wait, for real? It says that in here?
Yeah. In order to alleviate stress on the servers, players who cancel the queue in the login screen must now wait 30 seconds before re-entering the queue. So I think I pretty much always get a queue now. It might be 11 people, but they've really erred on the side of not turning the servers on fire.
Wow.
That now like sometimes you could like hit escape and queue again and you get right in or whatever. And that was another bug, I think. But now if you do that, you get to wait half a minute. So just like be like me. Just queue up and then go to the bathroom and come back and you're in the game.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, they changed we already covered this. The new launcher's blinding me. Bleh. They did change some stuff with the homeworld transfer service. The limit on gil you can transfer has been increased from 10 million to 999 million for characters and retainers. So, no one cares anymore. And I knew this was going to happen, and I don't understand why they didn't just do it. I don't know. That's about it. I'm done, man. It has been 2 hours of the notes, and that's it.
So what is your overall impression? I know we haven't done everything yet, and probably by next week we'll have done majority of things. But so far, what is your overall impressions of patch 5.1?
Good. I mean, I wasn't expecting... So 5.0 was so amazing. And I knew that 5.1 really had to be... back to, okay, now the people living on the first, their entire world has changed. How are they going to deal with it? Ilmar and whatever. And we knew that the Scions who had been teleported to the first weren't in their own bodies, right? They've talked about this in interviews and stuff. We knew we have to talk about that. And so the storyline covered about what I thought it would cover. So that I thought it was pretty good. I wasn't bored. A lot of stuff made me laugh. I'm concerned about the crafting and crafting changes being a little bit too much nerf to the easy side, but I'm hoping that this is only part 1 of 2 of the changes. I'm looking forward to what that might be. I'm still scratching my head and confused on some of the, especially like post-storyline cutscenes and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It kind of left you not a cliffhanger, but being like, what does that mean? I thought it was a good patch. I liked the raid. I liked Nier. I liked the boss battles. I liked the gear that came out of it. Some of that looks pretty nice. I guess it's a good patch. I'd count it as good.
Yeah, I say the same. I even though I didn't get to experience as much as you did. The story, I felt like it was at a good starting place for the rest of it. It didn't leave me scratching my head in a negative way. I'm loving the glimpses of what's going on back home at the end because that was a fear of mine. I think of yours too, that we would be doing this dance back and forth like we did with Stormblood, and we're not doing that. We're still not doing that. But I like those little glimpses of home, even incorporating that NPC fight into it. And I like the 24-man raid. It wasn't that difficult. I've read the articles and the interviews and how they've wanted this to be less difficult than Orban, because Orban was pretty difficult, I think, for many.
Well, you don't want people to rage quit, but you want them to be challenged. All the fights were recoverable, I felt like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I even read a thread that was like, if you were in the group that beat I think it was either the first or second boss that was in group B and was able to solo the second boss, ... and then it was, and this was kind of a jerky post, but it was, I was in that same party with you. Can't believe we kicked ass like that. What a great feeling. And then every other post was, yeah, our group did that too. Yeah, our group did that too. Yeah, our group.
No one.
And we did that last night, where it was like its other two groups died, and one party carried the other two.
Well, and they couldn't raise. Well, it was pretty low, but no one could raise you're
too far away.
My group and the other group that wiped were closer to each other on their platforms. No one could reach any of us. It'll get easier, but it wasn't that bad yesterday. It wasn't rage-inducing.
No, not at all. I thought it was great. So, I don't know. I had a blast doing that. I think it's just, maybe partially just playing with friends was great, but it was a good experience. So far, A+ on patch 5.1. I'm digging it, and I think my next thing is going to be the crafting and gathering. I really want to delve into that. Well, we'll have some Hades EX to talk about soon too.
Oh yeah, I love EX primals. All right, I didn't think we'd do it, but we've talked about it this patch for 2 hours, so I'm gonna quickly do a happy hour. We did have a tweet, and I want to thank Kat for tweeting us. Yeah. I really enjoy this Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Keeps me motivated to log on. Thank you, Yelta, Sumasu, and Rubicon Vale. So thank you. And they linked episode 183's tweet. So thanks. What's really funny is like keeping you motivated, and we're like, well, I didn't play this week. Maybe they're not caught up. I think it's healthy though for us to show that you don't always have to be 100% engaged and excited about everything every week. The game is designed for you to take a break and catch up. So I think it's healthy that we say that we play that way too. All right, closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, gtffxiv.com. While you're there, leave us a comment. If you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at gtffxiv. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale, Rubiconvale.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.